Hi all, good morning. So I'm solving the first question from list so that you'll understand, okay, how to solve the questions. Okay, I've given two questions on list, two on dictionary and two on tuples. Okay, so I will be solving the first one so that you'll get an idea how to solve, and I might be facing some errors and how I'm trying to troubleshoot and write, so you will get a reference of that. Okay. So in the first question, we are trying to find out, okay, movie streaming platform analytics. We have four columns like title, genre, rating, and views. So if you see, this is a list, and inside list, okay, we have a dictionary, okay, and we need to solve these questions for the first one. And for the second one, if you see, I have given a list, and in list inside again there is a list. So you will be having like both the versions in a list. Okay, so let's start solving this, and let me create a new .py file. So what I'll do, for each question I'll record a new video so that it will be short videos and you can refer it nicely. So from the list, that is question 1, okay, I'll be giving two questions, and from that first one I'm trying to solve. So .py, okay, that is what I'm trying to do over here. So let me copy this input and paste it over here. Okay, so this is data. Now let's start solving the first question. So these are the tasks which we need to do. So let me copy the first question. So let me comment it out. Okay, so this is your first question. So if you say, they are asking us filter movies with rating which is greater than 8.5. Okay, so guys, here I will cover the lambda functions also, which I was not able to show you because you people were tired. Okay, so let me write lambda. Okay, so lambda is nothing but your anonymous function. Okay, what it is? Anonymous function. Okay, and in it's a function which does not have a name. So majorly in lambda, okay, we write code using map, reduce, and filter. What I'll do is I'll just record a short video, or else like please go through some link if I'll share one. Okay, so what lambda function, okay, when we write this lambda anonymous function, okay, in the code, it takes two arguments. How many arguments? It takes two arguments. Okay, so the first argument is what? So the first argument is function. Okay, and the second argument is what? The second argument is input. That's what it does. Okay, so let's start writing a code for this. I'll create a function. Let's say get top rated, okay, movie. I've just given a random name. Okay, I'll be taking two arguments. One is like the list, and the second is, this is a 8.5 threshold. Okay, so value, you can give anything. I'm trying to say it as a name as threshold, that is 8.5. okay, now I'm trying to see, every function returns something. You can assign the code to a variable, or you can write the code and return that also. It's up to you how you write the code. So I'm trying to write a filter using a lambda function. It takes two variables. Okay, so m, any variable of your choice. Okay, and if you see, we need to do threshold of this. So what is this column called? Rating. Okay, so now I've written this m variable. Okay, what it means, each row will be considered as m. So from this m, sorry, from this m, okay, what I want is rating column. Okay, and that rating should be greater than 8.5. You can give over here if you have not passed, if you have passed only one argument, but as I have passed one argument over there, I'm writing a threshold. Okay, so this is my first argument. So if you see this, out of the two arguments, my one function is done. So if you see, function I have written. Okay, now I need to pass the second thing is input. So what would be my input? Input would be my list. Done, my function is created. Let me call this if underscore underscore name equals to underscore underscore main. Okay, and now I'll show you like multiple variants. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to call this function. Okay, it is expecting what? It is expecting one argument, two argument ideally. So first is movies and the second is some value. Okay, so as I have, if I don't pass this, it will take this default value. So let me save this and let me execute this. Okay, so if you see this, I'm not getting any output because I've called this function, okay, but I'm not returning anything. Okay, so let me just, okay, so let me just wrap print on top of that. Let me save this piece of code and let me run this. Okay, so if you see now, I am getting a object. I'm not getting a output. So do remember guys, when we write lambda functions like filter, map, reduce, they return iterators. Okay, so to get an output, what I need to write is, I just need to wrap inside it and it's converting into a list. Save this and let's run this. Can you see? I'm able to get the output. So hopefully you will be able to make these mistakes. So please do not make them. Okay. So let's say this is one of the approach which I got the result. Okay. Now let's say they are asking us, okay, now I'm getting the entire dictionary. So they are asking us, okay, no, I want in the output only the movies. So how we'll write a code for that or the output for that? Okay. So let's say you are just trying to write a print function. You are trying to call the function, okay, and you're trying to pass the movies, which we just see. Okay, now from the movies, what you will do is, okay, I'll try to pass the title column. Okay, so that's what, right? So from, if you give key, you get the values in the dictionary. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so if you see, it is giving me an error. List indices must be integers or slices. So it is considering this as a string. Okay, so generally, as I said, like try to write all these things, okay, in your f string or your f interpolation. So let me save this, let me run this, but still it is not getting resolved. Okay, so sometimes what will happen is, okay, it will not be able to understand. Okay, so even with like f interpolation, let me just do one last thing. Let me just wrap this movie's title inside a dictionary. If it resolves, good, or else I'll try a different mechanism. Can you see? Still it is giving me an error, not able to resolve. So let me just let's say this is a problem, I would say, or let's say this is an error for me. Okay, and let me, so this was the first successful approach. We were able to do that. So second, we are facing an issue. Let's find out the resolution for that. Okay, so what I would do is, okay, I will try to assign this, okay, function call, okay, to a variable. So let's say top ratings. Okay, yeah, top ratings, and I will assign this to a function. I'll assign this function output to a identifier or a variable. I'll try to write a small for loop. So let's say for m in top ratings, we needed to find move. That's okay. Any name of your choice. Okay. And I think like it was movies, right? Let's, because we needed to find like filter movies. So let's give good names so that like it also is, code is looking good. Okay, so I'm just trying to iterate in this movies. Okay, and here what you can do is you can write the interpolation which I was trying to write. Okay, so let's say print f of string interpolation. Okay, so let's say from the movie, okay, what I wanted to find out, I wanted to find out my rating column. Okay, let me save this and let me run this. So sometime, okay, perhaps if you see, it is giving me, I purposely made this mistake. Okay, so whenever we are calling this, okay, so that needs to be enclosed in curly braces. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, and yeah, let's run this. So, oh, sorry, it should be M. Okay, let's save this because it was highlighting in yellow color. Okay, so if you see, we got this rating. Okay, if you want to add some text, you can add some text, it's up to you. So let's say what they are saying is, let's say, so rating is this. We are getting that. So let's say in this they are asking we want to find out the movies also. So you can add your text and the variable also over here. So let's say top, let's say rated movie, okay, and what is from the M, okay, what you're trying to call, which is nothing but your, now it would be what? So if you scroll a little up, it would be title. You need to understand, okay, what you are calling, okay, so we are calling what? Title. What we are calling? We are calling title, okay, and simply it's a variable because it's a f interpolation, so enclosed in the string. Save this code and run this. So if you see, it is telling me top rated movie is this and rating is this, and this for the second one, this, because these are two thresholds beyond 8.5. These are the two movies. Okay, so this could be your second approach. Okay, again, like I'm trying to show you multiple approaches, you can choose any one and write your code. So this is the second, which is a successful approach. Okay, so let's see one more. Okay, so let's say now I want to write, okay, over here, here I have written traditional for loop. Okay, let's say I need to write the output using list comprehension. Okay, you can do that. What is list comprehension? The code is written in a list. How we write this? So let's say for movie in, okay, where you're trying to call your function, which is nothing but get top rated underscore movie. Okay, so how you write for I in? So for movie in this function call, okay, what we are trying to write is for movie in your function call, and it needs an argument. Remember the function call, so I'm passing in movies. So this is a for loop which I have written. Okay, so when we write list comprehension, when we write list comprehension, it has three arguments: expression, okay, your for loop, and your if condition. So this is the for loop I have written. Let's say if you want to filter ahead of that, you can write if conditions. Okay, and now I'm writing an expression. So when it is trying to do, so what I want from this movie, from this movie, okay, what I want is, okay, title, rating, it's up to you. So what they have asked us, we need to get title. So simply what I'm trying to write, list comprehension. Okay, I'm iterating on a condition, iterable. So here I have called the function, you can pass a list, okay, and this is an expression. Okay, if I save this and if I run this, again there is no output. So what you need to do is you can write print on top of that. Let me run this. Can you see I'm getting the output? Let's say I don't want this output in a list, I want it in a string, so you can unpack them. Okay, let me save this. So if you see this, no, I don't want, they are expecting not like this, they are expecting like, okay, this in a new row. Okay, so let's see that also. So let me comment this piece of code. Okay, and let's say this is the third approach, and finally this last approach. I think these approaches are more than sufficient for you to play and crack it. Okay, so the same thing what I'll try to do is whatever you have written, okay, I'll just copy this. I'm a lazy person, you all know. Okay, so this is the code. It was giving the output, but it was in a list. Remember this output? Okay, we were getting something like this. Now we want in a, after that we unpacked it, but it is a string, but it's in a single line. I want in a separate line. Okay, so what I will do is, I should write, okay, so I'll just write for, let's say, title in this condition. Okay, just try to print your title. Save this. Okay, and let's execute this. So now if you see, we are getting this output. Okay, so hopefully, like, okay, you should be able to do. Okay, so this was like a fourth approach which I showed you. Okay, so the reason behind to show this multiple approaches was, okay, if this is not working, that, if that is not working, that, if this is not working, that, okay, you need to try. Okay, so this is the first question which has been solved. Let me close this. Okay, so this is the first question which has been solved. Okay, so hopefully now you might have understood. Now what I'll do is I'll try to solve the second, third, fourth question in separate video and give it to you, and I'll do that a little faster because now you have understood, okay, most of the errors, how to write this, okay, how to tackle your errors, etc, etc. Okay, thank you guys, and make sure you are trying to solve all the Python questions and the 5 SQL queries which I have shared in the shared to Ankit. Ankit, please share with everyone. Okay, and if you have issues, please share in the WhatsApp. Ankit will share it to me. Okay, or else if anyone in the group, please try to help each other, guys. Okay, we are learning and we everyone has to clear our milestones. Thank you all. Take care.